Welcome to the Life of Hair Extra. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some fantastic before and afters. All of these before and after pictures are from behindthechair.com, so please make sure you go and check out behindthechair.com for all of their wonderful hair resources. Big thank you to those guys for all they've done for the hairdressing industry over the years. Not a lot else to say, so let's get on with today's episode. So the first one we're going to look at is this beautiful transformation. Now, one of the things that is mind-blowing about this transformation for me is just how much it's changed her skin tone. I've realised they put makeup on her, but it's made her face look richer and warmer and a lot more alive. And I think that's an amazing thing to do with someone's skin tone. I totally appreciate that's been enhanced with makeup. Even without the makeup before, if you'd have put such warm makeup on her skin, she'd have probably just looked like orange, whereas obviously the hair's really warm and that's really impacted on her skin. Now, we can't see her from quite the same angle as we can from the original, because obviously they're trying to show off that lovely shape in the back there. But for me, it's really invigorated her, and I think actually this has been a big hit for her. Really like the way that it's changed her whole appearance. This next transformation is amazing. It's done a few things to her face shape. Obviously, if we look at the original picture on the left, she's got incredibly long hair. It's quite wavy. And obviously, because it's so long, it's just dragging everything down, and it's not really a style, although I don't dislike it specifically. Now, one of the things I will say about haircuts like this is that they require a lot of maintenance if your hair has a natural texture in it, like she does there. Those kind of textured looks can be a little bit difficult to manage sometimes, and something that you do really need to take into consideration when you are thinking about changing someone's hair from long, wavy, thick hair like this into a much shorter style. But I do really like the way it looks. It's really squared out her jawline, and it's really brought emphasis to that square jawline that she's got, which I think is a good thing. Some people might disagree with that, but I quite like a strong jawline. And it's really kind of totally changed the dynamics of her face. Even her lips look like they're a different shape, and I think that's something that we don't always take into consideration, what big changes a big restyle can have on the hair. For me, it's a big thumbs up. Well done, guys. Really great job. Now, this next one's a colour transformation, and wow, what a big change. Gone from a very grown out, rooty blonde look into this deep, dark, rich chocolate brown colour. It's got a beautiful matte finish, but it also has that kind of softness and warmth that natural hair has. So a really beautiful job here, guys, on controlling the warmth when doing such a big transformation from blonde to dark. It's really made her blue eyes pop. They're like piercingly blue against the dark hair, and I think that looks amazing. One thing that's good to mention here is if you're going to go from very blonde to very dark like this, then you do need to make sure that you're looking after the condition using the appropriate shampoos and conditioners that are going to give you colour care. What you will find is a high percentage of fade in this time, even if you've gone through all the appropriate steps to look after that colour, and the stylist has done all the appropriate pre-pigmentation or filling steps to keep the colour on your hair. You will expect in those first 2 to 3 washes to see some fade, and you'll definitely see some fade over the first 6 to 8 weeks. You'll definitely need to have it refreshed at some point very soon in the future to keep this colour looking nice and fresh. It's not a one-stop shop to not getting your hair coloured anymore, but it will be in time, especially if your natural hair is very similar to the hair that you've had your hair coloured to. So, just a few things to remember when you're getting your hair coloured very dark from very blonde. A huge transformation here from very dark at the root here with that kind of coppery, pinky, corally shade through to platinum blonde. I cannot imagine how long this took to get it to look like this. No wonder they chopped a load off the ends, because I could imagine the hair felt pretty compromised after such a big service, and I doubt they got it there in one day. I would be stood corrected if that is the case, but looking at this, I would probably say that this is kind of a setup shot where they've got her wearing the same top, but they've processed it over either a few days or even a longer period of time than that. So you've got to bear in mind that when you see pictures on the internet, you don't know the backstory, you don't know where these things have come from, and so therefore you have to be very careful to not get too drawn into kind of the TV element of it. where behind the scenes lots goes on and you don't actually see that on the screen. It's a beautiful end result. I really like this bob on her. I really liked it before, to be honest. It needed a bit of refreshing, but I really liked that on her skin tone. But this transformation is massive. Some coily textured hair now, and definitely in need of a little bit of TLC in the beginning. Got some natural highlights coming through, some dark mid-band, some red on the ends there, and I cannot believe how much younger this lady looks. I mean, she has been reborn. She looks young, youthful, vibrant in her new style. She's got fantastic bone structure, nice high cheekbones, got that beautiful kind of heart-shaped face going on. And this Pixie style has really, really worked well for her. It's really softened everything down, and obviously just having the colour done has made a big difference to making her look more youthful. Not that I think that having your hair coloured necessarily makes you look more youthful. I totally disagree with that. In fact, if you were one of my clients and you had lovely white hair, I would totally be convincing you to not colour your hair any longer. All my clients can vouch for that I'm pretty into making people choose to have their natural colour and keeping it low maintenance. But with this, it's really refreshed it, and getting rid of those really kind of faded red ends has really made a big difference to the overall finished look of this particular lady's hair, and it's absolutely stunning. So this one's a really interesting one, and this is another one that's gone from quite blonde, grown out, rooty look, very long, not a lot of shape. Now, they haven't necessarily cut a lot of shape into hair. They've taken a lot of length off. They've put like in a texture wave, which looks really nice, which is one of the kind of techniques that I use quite a lot, like a mermaid wave, and I've talked about over on my Life of Hair Digital Academy before. And I think one of the things that we kind of see with this is that reddish kind of colour that they've put into her hair has really warmed up her skin. I know they've put makeup on her, and that's really helped as well. And she's got a bit of lippy on, and that's also amped it up. But one of the things that the haircut's done as well is it's kind of really slimmed down her face shape, and it's changed her face shape a lot. And obviously that's one of the things that we kind of need to bear in mind. They've switched her parting as well, which has changed the dynamics of her face shape. And also the other thing is that they've given her that little bit of extra width with that wave, and that width has really helped kind of carry her face shape in a completely different dynamic. Well done to whoever did this. It's really, really beautiful, and they've done a super job of kind of completely converting her, sorting out her roots with the reddy plummy colour that they've used, and then equally getting a lovely match through to those ends. That's not always very easy to do, especially when you've got very, very light blonde hair. It's quite easy to get a strong faded effect, especially when you're using those reddy, violety colours. It can look quite pinky over blonde. So I'd imagine there's some form of pre-pigmentation or filling going on where you put back the natural pigment into the hair. In this case, they'd be using maybe a red or a copper or a pink. It would probably be pushing towards a red because they've gone in with that more kind of violety, plummy hue through the hair. And if you're going to do that, then you don't want to be putting on any copper because you'll need to counteract that copper. So it's probably better to pre-pig this kind of hair with a pink. Put the pink on first, take it off, rinse off the colour, dry the hair, and then apply your colour over the top to get your final result. That would also lessen the contrast between the root area and the blonde through the mid zones, and therefore you get a much better even result as they've done here. Well done, guys, good job. This is insane. This is just amazing. They've obviously used some kind of hair wefts, and hair wefts are like, and hair extensions are way beyond what I'm into. I'm a professional hairdresser. I do lots of natural blondes, lots of lived-in blondes. I do lots of short, textured haircuts. I used to be a barber back in the day, so I could imagine being able to cut this hair, but I could not imagine where I'd even start to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. Whoever done this has absolutely smashed it, 10 out of 10. You can see they've put that cornrow weave in on the left-hand side. They've obviously then gone in with some kinds of very curly wefts of hair that they've secured by sewing it into those cornrows and produced this absolutely stellar result. So great job, guys. Whoever did this, big credit to you. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon for another episode of Life of Hair Extra.